I think fans are overreacting to Peacemaker Season 2 finale. Now let's talk about it. Now I want to start by saying that this is just my opinion. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion when it comes to TV, movies, and especially in the comic book superhero genre. But I want to say, first and foremost, that do I think the Peacemaker Season 2 finale was the best episode in the season? No, I don't think so. I don't think James Gunn really was honestly even trying to make it the most exciting, greatest finale of all time. But I think there is a major, major overreaction online to the finale. It seems like some people are acting like the DCU is in trouble now, and that James Gunn's got his hand in too many things, and they're saying all these crazy things because of one episode that didn't meet their standards. One episode is going to make people jump off the DCU bandwagon that they didn't like. One episode. That's crazy. That's literally insane to me. More than that, I thought it was a very good episode. Now, it's not the greatest episode ever. The episode before definitely had more higher stakes, better action, more thrill-seeking moments, right? This episode definitely drew the layers back. I definitely need to rewatch it again to maybe see what people are talking about. I definitely felt as I was watching it, man, you'd feel like there should be more going on or more stakes going on, but I feel like they do kind of amp it up towards the end. To me, the previous episodes were all about the action, all about the high stakes and craziness and drama and superhero conflicts that we were used to. This episode was about peeling the layers back and getting into the heart and soul of Chris, Peacemaker, and his relationship with Harcourt, which was kind of the thing they were teasing from the opening episode, and we go full circle about. And just his friendships and his drama and dealing with the trauma of his childhood and having to relive that basically in an Elseworld situation. The last episode was about, I guess, deconstructing the character and making us grow to appreciate him and his friendship and everything in his life a lot more. Now, to the people that want to see high stakes, high action, this and that, I'm not going to blame you if you feel like every finale needs to be like this grand roller coaster that we're rating for the biggest drop ever. I'm sorry, this wasn't that, right? This is, at the end of the day, television is a different form of storytelling to me than movies, right? If this was a movie, it'd be a lot different. It would be a weird way to end the movie, or what, I don't know. I don't think it's that bad, and I think it's set up some really cool, interesting stuff, and I think they do some crazy stuff at the very end, because you let John Cena. Every time I think of Peacemaker, I think John Cena. Chris, Peacemaker, finally get his happy ending, realizing that he has friends and he has a new family in his own world around him that love, care, and support him and are by his side through everything, even with all his mistakes. After going through everything he's gone through in his entire life, given up so much that he feels like he is the reason for everything that is wrong in the entire universe, that he is the sole purpose for every problem that ever happens around him. That is some dramatic stuff. And to have the support of his friends to say, we love you and we care about you anyway, that is great storytelling that anyone needs. And I'm someone that also is a big rom-com guy. I like romantic comedies and stuff like that. So I don't mind peeling back the layers and getting into the heart and relationship of Chris and Harcourt. But I do get it. There is probably one too many musical numbers. Granted, the first song that they have, I really enjoyed. I thought it was a pretty good song. I thought, again, I like rom-coms, so I thought it was a beautiful little storytelling with that. I do think when they circle it back in the end with the intro song, I think that went on way too long, right? I hear you out. I do think James Gunn could have chopped it down a little bit, especially in the intro song that they played at the very end. We didn't need to hear it for 5 minutes straight. Could have chopped it up a little bit, made it a little shorter. So I think the pacing of that was definitely off. That could have been fixed 100% dramatically, and I think people would have had less of an issue for it. Now people are saying, James Gunn, you're just trying to show off your music. We get it, you like music, blah, blah. I thought that too while watching it, but I liked the songs that they chose, and I thought it worked well with the story. Again, I think the intro song took too long, so I get you. Could have been chopped down a little bit. I like James Gunn and his music. Call me a James Gunn glazer. I don't care. I enjoy the storytelling. I enjoy rom-coms, so I don't mind it. And I think they set up some really cool, interesting stuff in the finale. Obviously, if you're watching this, spoilers, that John Cena, Peacemaker, Chris, whatever, gets put into the salvation, the Elseworld situation to where he's going to be in prison. And clearly, James Gunn is going to use that in some capacity with Lex Luthor in the future, with Rick Flag Sr., where they're going to imprison, the other metahumans. And that's going to be a big, big thing and storyline, I'm assuming, in future DCU movies. I'm curious if that's going to play a factor in Supergirl, or it's definitely going to probably be by Man of Tomorrow, Superman 2, right? So I think that's cool, and someone that just grew to love Peacemaker and Chris as a person and his character, especially by the last episode, you got into the heart of who he was and realized that he just dealt with so many things, and he lives with lots of guilt and shame and regret for the things he's done, and finally feeling peace and happiness and having his friends and all this stuff, and now he's being imprisoned into this otherworld situation. As someone that likes the character, you're like, go save him. Someone has to save him and make him free. I think that is a pretty cool cliffhanger, and I'm curious to see what they do with that. So again, was it the greatest and most interesting finale of all time? No, but not everything has to be. And I'm not saying that everyone that didn't like this episode feels that way, but come on. I really don't think it was as bad as what you're making out to be, and you shouldn't be saying, I am so worried for the DCU based off that. If anything, you should be asking, I wonder what they're going to do with that Salvation prison thing. And how is Rick Flag Sr. and Lex Luthor, how are they going to collab? How is Lex going to manipulate the situation even more? Because obviously, if you liked Superman, watch Superman, Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor is such a good interpretation and so evil and intelligent and all these things that you know that he's clearly going to have his hand so much in this future of the DCU and this salvation of imprisoning the metahumans of the DCU. So to me, we got to know and love the characters very well, had some nice relationship moments, and we set up some really cool, interesting questions that I don't think anyone a couple episodes ago would have ever guessed the season to end off on for the DCU. And if you're worried about cameos and stuff like that, who cares? It's not that deep. I heard rumors that Blue Beetle was going to be in the show. I love Zolo, a.k.a. Miguel from Cobra Kai. Would have loved to see him come in as Blue Beetle, right? But it is what it is. Who cares, right? We're going to see it. Be patient. James Gunn has done plenty to have us not distrust him because you have one episode that you're not the craziest over. We have the Guardians movies, you have the Suicide Squad, you have Superman, right? You have most of Peacemaker, most people seem to like. Right? People just jump on the highest extremes sometimes where they're all in or they're all out. If that was multiple episodes in a row, sure. But again, I also just didn't think it was that bad. But that's just me. Leave a comment down below. Am I tripping? Did you absolutely hate Peacemaker Season 2's finale? Did you hate the entire season? What did you think about it? Please be respectful in the comments if you disagree. Tell me what your concerns are. And if you liked it and you're with me and you're like, I don't get the hate, maybe it's not your favorite thing in the world, maybe it's not the best episode in the season. It definitely is not, because there were some really great episodes. And that's the thing. The bar was very high in a couple episodes. I think the previous episode started to lose track on what the episodes before were, episode 6, 7, right? Those two episodes were really, really good in that Elseworld setting, high stakes, high reward, whatever. Episode 8 dialed us back, but I enjoyed it for what it was. It's whatever. I enjoyed the entire storytelling of the show. Did you enjoy it? Let's talk about it below. Subscribe if you are new to this channel. I have other DCU content. I have some Superman videos. I have a lot of MCU content. So if you're into the MCU superheroes in general, go check out my playlist. I got a bunch of different stuff, different rankings. If you love Batman, I have some Batman tier lists, movies, actors rankings. And if you're into horror, as you see behind me, it's October. So I am heavily focused on the Halloween franchise for the most part right now. But I'm also a DCU, MCU superhero fan, so this channel is half horror, half comic book stuff. So if you're into either side or all of it, this is the channel for you. So subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.